Regardless of whether you like or dislike HoYo, regardless of how you feel, specifically pertaining to how they go about handling the distribution of their rewards, you cannot deny, you cannot contest the fact that they produce some of the highest quality gacha games on the market. They might not necessarily appeal to you, but that doesn't necessarily mean they are poor in terms of quality, especially when you compare it to the vast majority of their competition. So when HoYo announce a new game, register a new trademark, the internet kind of loses their minds, especially given HoYo have confirmed that they are trying to make their own metaverse called, I think it was something like the HoYoverse, and they're doing this one game, one genre at a time. MiHoYo has registered a new game trademark and already set up an account on Bilibili. Today, netizens have uncovered that MiHoYo registered a new product name, Shinbugudi, on the official Chinese trademark information website on February 2nd. This name directly translates to Starcloth Valley in English. Additionally, an account with the name Shinbugudi has been identified on Bilibili with its IP address originating from Shanghai. Go ahead and click this. Moreover, a Weibo account under the same name was registered on February 22nd, solidifying the belief that these accounts are officially associated with HoYo. This development leads to speculation that the newly registered name might belong to the previously leaked simulation management game, which is expected to have a style reminiscent of Animal Crossing or Harvest Moon, which is actually great news because okay, this might be a hot take here. I didn't actually enjoy Animal Crossing. I've never really enjoyed Animal Crossing. I did, however, love Harvest Moon and the Rune Factory games. The registration of official accounts on both Bilibili and Weibo on those specific dates strongly suggests MiHoYo's strategic move to establish a solid online presence for Starcloth Valley. Is that their take on Stardew Valley? Now this is their official Bilibili page, which we're gonna take a look at in just a moment, after I thank all of our incredible patrons over on Patreon, who allow for me to continue to document and do dedicated videos like this on new, upcoming, and existing gacha games every single day. You guys are phenomenal, and I cannot express how much I appreciate you. Now let's keep talking HoYo's new game. Translating the page into English, you have their videos, their favorites. Subscribe to the drama, because you know it's gonna happen. You know there is gonna be infinite amounts of drama when it concerns a HoYo game. Recent coin toss videos, their column recent. So I guess this is just like, there are already 42,000, well, let me highlight that. There are 42,000 fans already following them in the short amount of time they have had this page up for. Now looking at it, it doesn't really look like any of these are populated with links, videos, information. It does list it as Starcloth Valley. Oh, all right. I mean, I could. Right, yeah, sure. I wonder if we put this back in Chinese and we copy the title here and we run it through another translator. Stars and Stripes Valley. Also, Sing Boomy or Star Buckland. Chinese medicine. Running it through translate.com gives us Starcloth Valley. Running it through Reverso gives us Star Bud Valley. So evidently every single translator has a different name for us. But what we have gathered thus far is it is Star Word Valley. Now let's go ahead and see what Reddit has to say about this. And I know there are probably going to be people complaining about Genshin in the comments. I feel like whenever anybody talks about any HoYo game, there are Genshin players in there that criticize something. Another game where MiHoYo is going to sell Raiden Mei and make billion. I mean, like, let's be honest here. Is it really any surprise to people? Raiden Mei, like, I feel like Raiden Mei is probably one of the most popular characters in the entirety of HoYoverse games, right? I think, if I'm not mistaken, Raiden Shogun, when she was released in Genshin, became one of the highest grossing banner characters. Yeah, looking at Genshin Lab, it looks as though Shogun and Ayato had one of the highest revenues per character. So absolutely no shock there. They really are expanding their HoYoverse. Eventually they'll have a game in every genre, Too bad their FPS got canceled very early in development. Yeah, I was actually kind of looking forward to that. Stardew Valley clone with HoYo quality, that's what I was getting. I'm looking forward to whatever this ends up as, considering we know how much effort they put into their games. With Honkai Star Rail released last year and Zenless Zone Zero coming up this year, let's see what they're cooking next. Personally, I'd like a premium game without the gacha. I feel like all of us would, but then at the same time, they wouldn't earn any money from that. A little further down, there's a reply from Ghost Z. As per HXG Deluxe Uncle, it's called Starry Sky Valley. I think that's a tweet. A new game named, which directly translates to Starry Sky Valley, has been registered as at the government by HoYoverse yesterday. At the same time, the Bilibili account is also registered. From the name and previous leak, we know it's possibly a game similar to Animal Crossing. So, according to HXG Deluxe, who has almost 100,000 followers on Twitter, it is Starry Sky Valley. Also, shameless plug, if you don't follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter. So this is, I feel like, interesting news. It's a very interesting development, right? Because HoYo are kind of synonymous with a very certain style of game at the moment, and introducing a farming sim, a dating sim, an animal and farming management game into their selection of games is a unique fourth step to take. Because like Honkai was their initial major gacha game on the market, and then it followed up with Genshin, which was their second, and then Honkai Star Rail their third, and then Zenless their fourth. Well, Zenless hasn't come out yet, and in all honesty, based off of what we all played with the whole TV thing, really needs a lot more time before it comes out. But I feel like the general direction of all of their games and theme of all of their games is kind of the same, and that is that they are all very narrative focused, all have good combat, but a game about farming, if it's going to be something like Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing, I don't foresee there being like an engaging combat system in it, unless they, I guess, opt to go the Rune Factory route. Rune Factory was like Harvest Moon, but it had combat, not very good combat in any of the iterations of it. But I guess that could be the route that HoYo is taking. They could be trying to make a version of Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon with combat. Like I guess it would be a very fun idea to have Harvest Moon with like Zenless Zone Zero's combat, and a way of capturing creatures like Pal World or Pokemon, where you can capture animals or monsters and then insert them into your farm. Again, like in Rune Factory. So overall, I think this is a cool concept, a cool idea. I don't really know where they're going with it, but I mean, you know what? I'm here for it. I love HoYo games, and even in spite of me not enjoying Zenless in its current form, I'll probably enjoy it when they make enough alterations where it's fun, but I'm still very curious to see where they ultimately take this. Now, if this is not a gacha game you're all interested in, absolutely no problem. I got you covered with 2 different videos on screen right now. Might be more up your alley.